backfilling after we pulled out all that horrible Colorado clay soil, and we started out with a layer of cardboard. We're down about 12, 13, 14 inches at this point, and then we put a layer of hopefully non-chemical cardboard, and then now we're going to start backfilling. The first layer is going to be branches, and that's going to be to foster root development. Is that it, Mary Kay?
It's a great environment for the fungus, the mycorrhizomes to grow, and it is also going to be kind of a air spacing for the soil.
Yeah.
So as we add different layers, this is mostly carbon. The branches are made mostly of carbon. So when you are developing a standalone compost, you'll see the carbon mixed with the nitrogen, the browns and the greens. So these are our browns. We're going to throw them in the pit first because that will help us put in other pieces that'll filter in between and leave some air spaces so our plants don't go anaerobic.
Okay. So the cardboard is part of the spacing, leaving spaces? Gotcha.
And a little bit of a sponge.
A sponge for what? Like water? Oh, it holds it up.
When we dig down into Colorado soil, we make a bathtub.
Okay.
Because it is highly clay, which means it's made of tiny little particles.
Oh, so the cardboard will absorb some of the bath water, so to speak. Okay.
The other piece is that if we were building on top, we'd use the cardboard as a replacement for landscape materials or landscape fabric.
Because it decomposes, right?
Exactly. It's going to turn into soil. All of this will. So we discovered a wonderful smell in the buckets of the compost materials that I was reminding Alan and Beth to, if they smell that, to pay attention, and we will decrease the water supply to this area because digging down into a clay soil means you've created a bathtub. And if we get that anaerobic rotten egg smell, that means that we've got too much water and we're actually going to be killing the roots of the plants that we put in.
Well, we pulled this out of the trench, but it's kind of, I mixed it up with some of the topsoil. So it's got some clay in it, but you can see it's kind of breaking up a little bit. So the hope is that I got enough topsoil in here, and I screened it, so I got out a bunch of rocks, that putting this back in the trench with all of that amendments will turn it into some really great growing material, growing medium. So that's the hope and dream. It's dirt we pulled out of the trench, and I got most of the rocks out, but that's next step, right? And we've got a whole pile of this in the back.
Excellent.
And so the goal would be to get enough dirt on here so that we could then throw some wood chips.
Yep, the wood chips will go next.
Fixed.
The darkness of
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's what we're going for.
Yeah, nice.
That's what
That's
we're
fun stuff.
growing into. Yeah. I'm so excited.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got that good smell.
There it
I
is.
love stuff like that. Yay! It is really nice. And that's a good smell. I like this.
That's what we're going for.
So today, this evening, we have backfilled, well, we had the trench prepped, and well, we had 12 to 15 inches of trench created or dug out, I should say, all the clay soil and pulled out. Then we did an initial layer of cardboard, and then on top of that we did our branches. You know, 12 inches of branches, which compress and obviously the soil will infiltrate as we backfill. And now we're pulling, I've screened a lot of this soil here, and we're putting that back in the trench. And what we're going to do is we're just going to keep building it up, kind of like that layer cake concept. And we'll put wood chips and more compost and more soil and build it. You know, at the end of the day, well, next time, I think our next episode, we should have it built up 18, maybe 24 inches. And that's going to be a great planting environment for the spring. So that's where we're headed on this project here on this part of the yard.
So what we did today was we layered dirt, which we are trying to convert into soil, with carbon in the form of branches, which is what Mary Kay calls the brown. And that is a nitrogen depleter, I believe. And then we're adding things like wood chips, which I would think are also a nitrogen depleter. And they're breaking down beautifully, so we already have a simulation of great soil in the wood chips. And then we're layering it with chicken waste and bunny waste and all sorts of matter and compost matter, which is replenishing some of the nitrogen into the soil. And so this great process, which I said was like lasagna because it's in layers, plus the cardboard, which acts like a sponge, because in Colorado, because of the clay-based soil, it becomes almost like this would be a bathtub full of water. So the cardboard's going to absorb some of that, and then this whole great process will happen, and it's going to convert our plain old clay dirt into excellent soil that's going to look like 70% cocoa, which is how Mary Kay defines that beautiful, rich, inky black soil that we all love so much. Like they have in South Dakota, where I grew up. It takes a little more effort here.
Yeah, but they have really cold winters.
They do have cold winters and mosquitoes, so this is superior. Okay, so today we are starting the project that is involving less digging, and that came from David, his suggestion that we're starting by putting down cardboard.